Bonjour, good morning. Today we'll deal with the present tense of regular verbs. Regular verbs are divided into three categories. Those which end in ER, those which end in IR, and those which end in RE. Now, the verbs which end in ER are known as ER verbs or verbs of the first category. The verbs which end in IR are known as IR verbs or verbs of the second category. And the verbs which end in RE are known as RE verbs or verbs of the third category. So we'll see the formation of the present tense of these verbs individually. Every regular verb, I have already told you this, every regular verb has two parts. The stem of the verb and the root of the verb. For example, if we take the regular ER verb parler, which means to speak, PARL is the stem and ER is the root. Normally, the last two alphabets of the full verb will form the root of the verb. If you take an IR verb, a regular IR verb, finir, then FIN is the stem of the verb, IR is the root of the verb, and finir by itself will mean to finish. If you take the regular RE verb, descendre, which means to go down or to get down, the stem of the verb will be DESCEND and the root is RE. So now I suppose you know how to separate the stem of the verb from the root of the verb. Now why am I telling you this? Because the present tense is formed only to the stem of the verb. So you must necessarily know how to obtain the stem of the verb. So the present tense is formed through the stem of the verb, and the stem of the verb is obtained after omitting the root or after cutting off the last two alphabets of the full verb. Now let us go into the formation of the present tense for ER verbs. The present tense for ER verbs is always formed to the stem of the verb. To the stem of the verb, if you add the following endings like E, ES, E, ONS, EZ and ENT, you will get the present tense for all regular ER verbs. Now let us take up the first regular ER verb, which is the verb parler. Parler means to speak. I have already told you this. The stem of the verb you know how to obtain. PARL, cut off ER, which are the last two alphabets of this full verb. Now, I have written all my subject pronouns down. Je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. You already know the subject pronouns and I told you have to learn them in this order. Then I have written the stem of the verb in black. PARL. I have written the stem of the verb next to the subject pronoun. Now I have to start adding the endings which are in blue. So for je, the ending is E. For tu, the ending is ES. For il or elle, the ending is E. For nous, the ending is ONS. For vous, the ending is EZ. And for il or elle, the ending is ENT. So, the conjugated form of the verb parler in the present tense will be je parle, which means I speak. Tu parles, which means you speak. Il or elle parle, which means he, she or it speaks. Nous parlons, we speak. Vous parlez, which means you speak. And il or elle parle, which means they speak. So, this is the present tense. And this is the affirmative form of the verb parler. You can form the negative, the interrogative and the interrogative form of this ER verb. Now going to the next category of verbs, which are the IR verbs. The IR verbs form the present tense in the same manner. To the stem of the verb, you have to add the following endings. Now we have a different set of endings and I've written those endings in red. IS, IS, IT, ISS-ONS, ISS-EZ and ISS-ENT. So to the stem of this verb, if you add all these endings which are in red, then you will get what is known as the present tense for regular IR verbs. Now let us take an example. I've taken the verb finir, which means to finish, and the stem of this verb is FIN after chopping off IR, which is the root of the verb. The last two alphabets of a full verb is the root of the verb, and I have conjugated this in the affirmative form. So first I've written down my subject pronouns, je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle, and then I've written beside the subject pronoun the stem of the verb. The stem of this verb finir is FIN. And then after writing FIN, I have added the endings. Now what endings have I added? I have added those red lettered endings. IS, IS, IT, ISSONS, ISSEZ and ISSENT. So the present tense of the verb finir will read je finis, which means I finish, tu finis, which means you finish, il or elle finit, which means he, she or it finishes, nous finissons, we finish, vous finissez, you finish, and il or elle finissent, which means they finish. So this is the present tense of the verb finir. Now let us go to the last category of regular verbs, which are the RE verbs. The RE verbs form the present tense in the same manner. To the stem of the verb, you will have to add the following endings: S, S, then no ending, ONS, EZ and ENT. I have written the RE verb endings in green. So, if you are going to conjugate an RE verb, you will have to use only these endings which are in green. We are talking about regular RE verbs. I have taken the regular RE verb descendre, which means to go down or to get down, and I have conjugated it in the affirmative form. First, I placed the subject pronouns je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. After that, I have placed next to the subject pronoun the stem of this verb descendre. So, the stem of the verb descendre is D-E-S-C-E-N-D. To that, I have started adding the endings. So, the ending for je is S. For tu, again, you have another S. For il or elle, there is no ending. So, we don't add any alphabet there. For nous, we have an ONS ending. For vous, we have an EZ ending. And for il or elle, we have an ENT ending. So, the present tense for the verb descendre will read je descends, which means I get down or I go down. Tu descends, you get down or you go down. Il or elle descend, he, she or it gets down or he, she or it goes down. Nous descendons, we go down or we get down. Vous descendez, you go down or you get down. Il or elle descend, they go down or they get down. So these are the three categories of verbs, and you have to learn these endings by heart. The ones which are in blue, the ones which are in red, and the ones which are in green. So you have to learn these endings. Each of these endings are affiliated to one subject pronoun. If you notice, I have written the subject pronoun on top, je, tu, il, elle and all that. So each of these pronouns each of these endings are connected to one particular subject pronoun. Please learn the subject pronouns in this order and also the endings in this order. This is how we form the present tense of all regular verbs. I hope by now you would know how to form the present tense of regular verbs. Merci.